Hi guys, my name is Juan. I wish you an amazing week and welcome to Game News. Playtester gave us an update on Hollow Knight Silksong. Guys, as you all know, the latest Nintendo Direct was held earlier last week, and while we were hoping to see Silksong make an appearance, it didn't end up happening. But a playtester on the game has given us a small yet reassuring update. According to PC Gamer, a Discord user shared a brief message on the Hollow Knight Discord acknowledging the disappointment among fans but saying that the wait for Silksong will be worth it. The playtester was quoted as saying, "Non-troll Greg, I feel for you all. I really want this game to release ASAP, and we testers are working hard to get it out for you, as well as Team Cherry of course. It will come, and it is a glorious game worth the waiting. Love you all." So what this means for us? When can we expect to see Silksong next? Well, it's not clear as for right now, but there are rumors of a PlayStation showcase this month. But guys, Silksong seems to be more closely tied to Xbox, especially since it's going to release day 1 on Game Pass. And the best hint we have is for Microsoft's Summer Showcase, where they previously stated that every game shown would be released in the next 12 months, including Silksong. That would mean a release date of June 2023. But as each month goes by, it looks a little less likely. So I think that Team Cherry will only give us a release date when they know that the game is ready. And this is the best way to go in my opinion, because when you promise a release date and then you delay the game, it's very frustrating for those who have already planned for the release. And you know, these little things that destroy the trust that people have in your studio. And I think that this should be a standard practice for all the game studios. You know, just confirm the release date when you know that the game is ready for release. That way you prevent frustration and everybody is happy. Nintendo promises more Switch games. Guys, Nintendo kick off their latest Nintendo Direct with a bang, announcing the shadow drop of Metroid Prime Remastered, a release date for Pikmin 4, and an in-depth trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And this lineup of games is shaping up to be the strongest first half of a year Nintendo has ever had. However, concerns have been raised about Nintendo's decision to skip E3 this year, and reports suggested that it was because Nintendo doesn't have enough games to showcase. But Nintendo is not too concerned about this, as they stated during an investor Q&A that they are still hoping to drive console sales by releasing new games and that there are titles under development for Nintendo Switch. According to Nintendo representative, director, and president Shuntaro Furukawa, Nintendo Switch is coming up on its 7 years of sales in March, and we see this as an uncharted territory in the history of our dedicated video game platforms. Under this situation, it's hard to imagine that hardware sales will continue to grow at the same pace they have today. However, there are titles under development for Nintendo Switch, and new titles will continue to be proposed going forward. I mean, it's not that silly to assume that there will be no new first-party Nintendo games launching in the later half of 2023 because none have been announced. But hearing this made me realize that we haven't had a new 3D Mario game for almost 6 years, and Nintendo usually releases a Pokemon spin-off every year. So it's possible that Nintendo could be holding some stuff back for new hardware, but it sounds like Nintendo Switch will get plenty of support despite its ripe old age. But guys, keep in mind that he was saying this during an investor Q&A, and he knows that Nintendo won't be selling millions in consoles anymore, so the only source of revenue is games, and if Nintendo has no games, there is no point to invest in Nintendo. So he could just say this to keep the investors in the company, because Nintendo has reported that they had a big drop in sales, so keep that in mind. And keep it talking about Nintendo, Tears of the Kingdom has the biggest file size of any first-party Switch game. With a whopping 18 gigs, Tears of the Kingdom has overtaken Bayonetta 3, which previously held the record at 16 gigs. Just for comparison, Breath of the Wild comes in at 13.5 gigs, making Tears of the Kingdom nearly 5 gigs larger. So, what makes Tears of the Kingdom so big? Well, as you all know, just a few days ago, Nintendo gave us a sneak peek at everything new in the game, including shield grinding, new enemies, more areas, and drivable cars. Guys, these features, along with others, are likely the reason for the increase of file size. While Tears of the Kingdom may be the biggest first-party game on the Switch, there are plenty of third-party games that are even larger. LA Noire clocks in at 27 gigs, The Witcher 3 at 31 gigs, and NBA 2K 2022, currently the biggest third-party game on the Switch, at 46 gigs. It always amazes me to see how well Nintendo know their console, because if you have played Breath of the Wild, you know how massive Breath of the Wild is. A lot of areas to explore, a lot of weapons, a lot of enemies, a lot of everything. And the game is only 13 gigs. That's really nice. And usually Nintendo games are super light and run super smoothly on the Nintendo Switch because, you know, they make their own games. I'm not talking about the latest Pokemon because we know the problems that those games had. And I think that Tears of the Kingdom probably is going to be the same way. Having a little bit more file size, this probably means that the game will have way more content, and Breath of the Wild has tons of content, so you can expect hours and hours of gameplay in Tears of the Kingdom. Alan Wake Remastered hasn't made the developers any money yet. It's been over a year since Alan Wake Remastered was released, and it still hasn't generated any royalties for Remedy. The CEO of Remedy, Tero Virtala, confirmed this news after the company's full-year financials were released. Right now, Alan Wake Remastered is only available on the Epic Games Store, but it is possible that a future release on Steam, the world's largest PC gaming market, could change its profitability. For those who are unfamiliar with Alan Wake, it's a horror game that follows the story of a writer named Alan who travels to the town of Bright Falls on vacation to overcome writer's block. But things take a terrifying turn when his wife goes missing and the events of his own horror novel start playing out in real life. I mean, releasing a game, at least on PC, on only one platform, you have to be expecting that your game won't be selling much. Because let me first say this, guys. I love Epic Games Store. I think an Epic Games Store was necessary a while ago, and now we have it, and that's amazing because competition is the best thing in the market. And especially in the gaming market, competition is the best thing ever. This idea of having two big stores, Steam and Epic Games Store, is amazing. We can already see the impact the Epic Games Store is having on the market. At least on PC, now you have two options, two big stores that can provide you the same game in different price tags, with promotions and good deals. So now you have two places to look. You're not stuck with only one platform. You have choices, and that's amazing for consumers. I love Epic Games because they deliver free games. Some people might argue, oh, they're not big games, but they are games, they are for free. If Epic Games didn't exist, you would never be able to get those games. And Epic Games actually release tons of the good games. We are talking about Death Stranding, we are talking about GTA 5, we are talking about all the Batman games, and way more good games. And that's really nice. And those games have been on Steam for so long, and Steam didn't give them for you for free. So that's why I love Epic Games. But in the business perspective, releasing your game on a platform that is still growing and not release your game on a platform that is strong on the market and it is the biggest platform on the market is not that wise. So of course, for reachability and for the sake of competition, releasing the games on both platforms would be not just better for the company because you will have the game in way more places that people can find them, and for the consumer because the consumer now have options to buy the game. So I'll hope that they will release this game on Steam really soon because I didn't play the game, but I heard from people that did play the game and they loved it. So it's not because of the quality of the game that the game is not selling. So I would say that the game is not selling because the game is not available on a lot of platforms. And guys, keeping talking about Alan Wake 2 is fully playable. Guys, after months of full production, a playable build of Alan Wake 2 has finally emerged. Tero Virtala, the CEO of Remedy, said this: Alan Wake 2 is in full production. The game will soon have all content in place and it is playable from start to end. This sequel to Alan Wake was first announced at the Game Awards in 2021, and since then, Remedy has provided us with affirming updates, and we know that the full production began in May 2022. Guys, Sam Lake, the director of Alan Wake 2, said this: Alan Wake 2 will push further into the horror aspect of the original. This game is said to be Remedy's biggest project yet, and according to Lake, it is a very complex undertaking. But it's not just the game that is getting attention. Alan Wake 2 is also becoming a live-action TV series courtesy of AMC. Guys, Remedy announced a partnership with AMC back in May, but no release date has been revealed. So the low sales of the remaster didn't affect the production of the studio, and that's actually amazing to hear. So if you're a fan of Alan Wake, you can, look forward to the upcoming game and TV series. Insider claims that PlayStation will host 2 State of Plays before June. There have been rumors floating around that PlayStation will be hosting 2 State of Plays in the first half of 2023, and I'm here to give you all the details. Guys, according to a report from Jeff Grubb, the first State of Play will be focused on third-party games and is expected to take place soon. The second State of Play is expected to be the bigger one and will likely go down before this year E3 in June. Guys, although PlayStation won't be attending E3 this year, apparently this is not stopping them from giving us a show, and Spider-Man 2 is is expected to be the headliner of the State of Play before E3, currently stated to launch in this fall. This sequel hasn't had a new trailer since it was announced in 2021. Final Fantasy might also feature heavily with 2 big portions coming out before the end of 2023. Both Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth will be PS5 exclusive at launch and are expected to be big players at the State of Play. Guys, this is all from me for now. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, comment something down below, and peace.